Good morning, everyone. Today is Monday, January the 12th, and this is going to be your first update for the class. Just to kind of give you an idea of how the course is laid out. When you log in here, you will see my news items posted in this center area. This is what you can subscribe to, and to subscribe to it, you'll go up to the upper right-hand column, which is out of my recording window right now. But if you click on your name, then you can click on notifications. Notifications did show up when I clicked on my name there. And if you click on notifications, you can go in and subscribe to news items, and then you can actually filter courses that you want to hear from and some that you don't want to hear from. The calendar is listed over here on the right, and I use the news items because it allows me to post videos in here, and I can put any discussion points in there that I need to. What I'll also do is I'll post it here so it shows up on the front of the screen when you log in, but I'll also post on the discussion boards. So in the discussion area, you have a topic here called News and Course Discussions, and you'll find this same video posted here. I'll post it here because this makes it easier for you to respond with a question if you have something that would go back to the general class. And these are just like the others. You can subscribe to these. The news items, you can subscribe to discussion postings, so that way if you have a question, I'll get an email that somebody's posted a question to the entire class. If it's something that you think everybody might be interested in, then post it here so that way we can have somewhat of a public discussion about it. If it's a private question or something you think may not need to go to the whole class, then by all means just email me. That will be fine. But I am going to post them here, not duplicating it to try to make things complicated, but in the first location here, the news item, it's just so it's easy for you to, oops, I clicked on the wrong button there. It makes it just easy for you to find it when you first log in, and then the discussion board area is to make it easier for you to ask questions. Now over here on the left, you have your content browser. Underneath general information, you find a link to the syllabus that we discussed the other day. I didn't show it to you, but it's a Google document. Here the syllabus, so you'll be able to bring this up and take a look at it. If you have any questions, excuse me, I'm fighting off a cold. I was taking a good bit of medicine over the weekend to try not to sound sick, but now that I'm past giving presentations, I'm trying to get off the medicine. So I apologize for that. But this is basically what we talked about the other day. I had this open on my phone when I was talking to you. Just trying to skim over to see if there's anything in particular here that I wanted to mention. I don't think so. I think I covered everything on the syllabus pretty well the other day. So back here to the front, the one thing that I do want to bring up to you, to your attention here, is the course calendar. And the calendar is again a Google document. Now there's two ways that you can see the calendar here. There's one that everything is already put into the calendar with dates. So in the systems version of a calendar, you can see things. But this is a nice little overview of the calendar, and you can print this, and these dates are not going to change. I mean, I don't want to say not, because something could come up and adjust these, but in general, this is our outline that will not change. So assignments begin on a Monday, and they're due the following Monday, and if you notice, the day that this week's assignments are due is the day that the next week's assignments begin. And let me actually go ahead and fill this in right here. Not trying to create confusion, but just wanted to block out the week of spring break because you don't have anything that's due. Let's see, I will need to adjust this, the emerging trends presentation. Nope, I'm going to leave it. We'll discuss that later. If I end up sticking with that project, we'll discuss the due date of that, if we want to leave it the first Monday of spring break or if we want to wait and push it out. Some of you may want to not have anything hanging over your head for spring break, and you might want me to leave it so that way you have to get it done. Some of you may need the time during the week. So we'll discuss that when we get to it and see what's going to be best for everybody as far as the due date for your group presentation that comes later in the semester. But this is a general overview of what's going to be due and what's expected of you. So a lot of times when I log in and I bring up the updates, I'll just have highlighted the week that we're in now, which is the first week, January the 12th, and what you're supposed to be working on is your workflow and CYB activity. So let's go back to the course. I don't like the table of contents view, so you'll find that I always go back to the home page and go back to the content browser. So under step 1, you've got this Start Here page, which gives you some instructions on completing this first activity about workflow and CYB. I've had some questions about what I was actually looking for. Now, someone mentioned that they work at a facility that basically takes raw material inputs and creates an output that is used in construction. So they were wondering what I might be looking for as far as the workflows. Well, I think that there are a lot of workflows and data that surround this that may not be internal. External, you've got a lot of communication with suppliers and with customers, and there's a lot of workflow that goes between placing orders, making payments, receiving orders, checking inventory, especially when you're looking at your customers, because your customers' orders are going to depend on construction plans, on approval from getting building licenses. So you're going to have different things external that are going to impact the orders that your customers are going to make. So I think for all of you, if you don't have a process within your organization or a workflow that you can easily identify that would work well for this activity, think outside your organization. What activities take place outside that impact everything inside your organization, and draw up a model of how the data flows. Where does it come from? Where does it originate? Who stores it, manipulates it, analyzes it, shares it, and see how those processes impact your organization. And so as you work through where the data comes from, who does what with it, you're going to be looking at basically the CYB model. You're going to be looking at people that are internal within your organization, some that are external outside of your organization, and you're going to be looking at processes both in and out. And those processes are all going to impact the things that go on within your organization. So that's what I'm really looking for is two things. I want an outline of the workflow and a discussion of how that workflow impacts people within the organization, outside the organization, processes within the organization, and processes outside of the organization. So you're going to draw up a description of your workflow and then discuss the CYB model within the framework of your workflow. If you want to send it to me and let me take a look at what you've done, I'll be glad to do that ahead of time. Or if you want to give it your best shot and then take advantage of my read-write opportunities, I'll be glad to handle it that way as well. Once you're finished, you're going to come back to step 1 and click on the drop box here to submit your work. You're going to submit your workflow and CYB PDF here, so you'll just click on Add Attachments. And if you want to add a note to me or type anything in, you can, and then you'll click Submit wherever the Submit. Oh, I don't have a Submit button because I'm not a student. That's why I don't have a Submit button. So once you attach your file here, you'll be able to send that file up to me. If you have any questions, let me know. I hope that this answered the question of the student that asked me about their particular situation in their business. So, but some of you may have a little easier time identifying a process that you can look at within your organization. I want to also mention that some organizations are so large that you've got independent departments that will work with other departments as if they're other businesses. So you've got, in some cases, you've got business units that will partner together for one thing or another. And I want you to know that it's okay for you to look at the CYB model, and sometimes external might still be within your organization, but they are in a different unit. They've got different goals. They've got different strategies. They've got different purpose. So if you want to look at some of the people within your organization, as in that's underneath the same umbrella, but look at them as external because they've got their own processes and they've got their own products and they've got their own purpose, that's okay. But just make sure you let me know that because sometimes the way that organizations are structured creates an environment where you're almost working with business partners rather than a fellow colleague within the same organization. So I hope that is clear, and I'm not trying to make things confusing. I'm just trying to make it more flexible, I guess, because some people are going to be in large organizations where that's actually the case. Let me know if you have any questions. I look forward to working with you. Sorry this was a long update. Like I said, most of them are going to be 2 to 5 minutes, but this first one I've spent a little more time just kind of going over the course, and just wanted to make sure that everybody's okay. And if you have any questions, be sure and let me know. So take care, have a great week, and I look forward to getting your work.